Hey guys, Joe here, and I'm going to show you guys how to use the Weldment tool in Solidworks. Now, a couple quick things with the Weldment tool is that it makes making tube members really easy, but the thing is that the Weldment tool is not transferable to Fusion, so you got to keep that in mind when you're making stuff. So today I'm just going to make I don't know, a simple control arm, nothing too fancy. So I'm going to go to top view real quick, and you notice that I'm in the 3D sketch tool right now. So let's just start off with a pretty basic outline. We'll put this guy along the Z so that he's a straight line, and we'll make him about, I don't know, a foot long. Right, and then let's make another guy. So I'm going to use a circle for a bent radius. So I don't really care too much about what the actual radius is. What I'm more concerned about is the angle of it. And we're going to use 1-inch tubing. So we're going to make this guy about 1 inch from the end of this member. Oh, would you look at that? Near perfect. All right, and then we're going to make this guy, let's make it like 45. And I don't know why I drew the circle here. Let's just get rid of it. And we're going to make another guy over here. Bam. Smart fillet. Let's just give him like I don't know, 3-inch radius. Or you don't want to do that. What? There you go. Give him a 3-inch radius. Yeah, look at that. We're gonna make these two guys parallel. And then we're gonna put these guys as, let's see, we can look at our little what do you call them? Coordinate system down here. What's your name? Coordinate system, right? Yeah. And then we do that. Well, you'll notice that this guy still isn't constrained, so we're gonna have to set a distance for him. Let's just make it like 5 inches apart. Look at that. We already got the outline of our control arm. That took like what, 30 seconds? All right, now let's do some structural members. So we'll make it out of inch tube. So you can see where I am right now in the Weldments menu. You may have to like go to tabs and unlock it. You know what I'm saying? So you right click up here, go to tabs, and then click on Weldment here. You click on that, make sure that's checked. All right, now we'll do our straight member first because there's not going to be any notches in our straight member. We're going to do new group, and then we're going to do our second bent member. Bam, bam, bam. It automatically notches it for us. So let's go ahead and check. And look at that, automatically notched. But let's say I don't like this. I want a little bit of a better notch here. All right, so then we go to trim and extend. No, wait. My bad, we go to edit feature. Let's go in here first. Let's say I don't like that. So there should be protrusion. My bad. It should be this one. So this guy needs to be trimmed, and this one is our trimming body. So we want to keep this guy. We want to keep this guy here. And this is our trimming body. And we have a weld gap over here. And you can set this for whatever you want. Let's say I wanted like a 1/4 inch weld gap. I don't know why you would. And so we have two options here. We got two bodies. We have this one and this one. And if you want to keep or discard it, you just click here and it's gone. You can see here, that's our 1/4 inch weld gap. I don't know why you'd want a 1/4 inch weld gap. You just hate yourself. And then you got your 0.05 weld gap. You got a 0.05 inch weld gap. That's more typical of what you'd want. But now I want a cross member here. Okay, well you want a cross member for some, because it makes it easier to weld. I think. I don't know much about welding. I'm gonna say this guy also on X, and then we'll set him as like, I don't know, 1.5 from the end here. Bada bam. Okay. But now I don't want this guy to be an inch because that's too heavy for my liking. So I'm gonna make another structural member, and I'm gonna make him 3/4 thickest wall because I want to make things easier on myself. But now, hold on a second. That's not right. I need a notch on that guy. So go to trim and extend, click your bodies, bam, bam, and this guy. And now you have the same options. You got keep, keep, keep. I want to get rid of these two. You know, now they're gone. And I got my weld gap of 0.01 inches. Hit check. Yippee! There's your control arm. You know, very quick, very simple. You know, no excuses. Let's make something more complicated, you know? Let's make a trailing arm. Everybody loves trailing arms, right? I don't. Let's get our plane up. All right. So we're going to go into our 3D sketch, and we're going to make a trailing arm. So how are we going to do that? You might be asking. Well, you just draw some lines. Draw another line. Let's say here that this plane is a flat part of our knuckle, and these two lines represent a whatchamacallit, our members of our line, of our arm, right? Okay. So we're going to set these guys parallel, right? Parallel as can be. And let's say I want them to be an inch apart. Yeah. Well, actually, no, I don't want them an inch apart because we made them inch tubing. So let's say inches. There we go. All right. So where's my mounting point going to be? I don't know. Well, if you measured it on your chassis and what the distance between your knuckle is and your mounting point, let's draw a little center line here. And let's say that my mounting point is going to be, let's get this guy on the front plane. It's giving me an error because, you know, Solidworks hates me. You know, and I hate Solidworks. You know, it's great when that opens up for some reason. So, say that this guy is going to be on this plane. Bam. All right. And let's put him along the z-axis. All right. And let's say that our mounting point is going to be, say, 2 feet, 24 inches from our knuckle. All right. Let's also put this point on this plane as well because we want to be pretty flat. It's also going to be, let's say, 1/2 foot. No, that doesn't sound right. Let's just put it as a, I don't know, it's a good number, 14, say 14 inches, I don't know. I don't want it to be some nice round number because that's not what the real life is. I mean, 14 inches is a nice round number, but it's not a perfect foot, so I don't want it to be some easy angle like 45 degrees that we're setting that. All right, so we got our arm, and this is our mounting point over here, right? So set it as along the y-axis. Let's put these guys, let's say that the origin is where we want it to be mounted. You know, because we're going our distance from the origin. So there we go. That looks like kind of a long trailing arm, but you know, it's whatever. All right. So now we got our two members sitting right here, nice as can be. I want to do it between the two lines, not at the, you know, whatever. You know. But we don't want, but what are we going to be mounted to? We're going to be mounting to some sort of Weldment bung, right? So we're going to set this guy like that. We're going to make it coincident to where our mounting point is going to be. And we're going to have some sort of like high misalignment bearing or some sort there. So that's what our arm's going to look like. So, but we want like that coincidence, so it's nice and locked in. But now, where's this guy gonna go? Where's our supporting? This is gonna be our supporting member, and this is gonna be our primary. So where is this guy gonna hook up on? So we're gonna just, put a little radius here. You can draw a circle, or you don't need to draw a circle. You can do a line like that. And I don't know what you'd want this guy to be. Let's just do 45. So 180 minus 45 is 135. Put that guy right there. And let's say I don't know, let's put him 1 inch from the end of our member. Bam. And then let's add a little fillet here. And let's make it a 3-inch fillet. Bam. And maybe we want a little supporting member guy in the middle. So right in our middle point. Yeah, look at that. That's gonna be our trailing arm. And now I'm looking at it, actually it's not, the knuckle isn't a foot, the mounting point is not actually 2 feet away, it's actually 18 inches away. Oh boy, so now I don't have to redesign my entire arm. I can just change that value. And everything's the same. I actually want my knuckle to be a foot away from the mounting point. Okay. Oh, that's not right, but 12 inches. There you go. Now, cancel. I hit the X button by accident. Now let's do our structural members. Let's go weldments, and then our bam, bam. Oh, actually, no. Start off with our primary member. New group. Bam, bam, bam. Wow, look at that. Yeah, check. But now I want my weld gap. This guy. No, wait. We want to trim this guy, and this is our trimming boundary. But hold on a second. I still need to do my other supporting member, but I want him to be out of 3/4 too. Actually, I accidentally did that in 1 inch, so let's just change it to 1 inch real quick. Bam. Then let's go to let's do 3/4. Bam. All right. Now I want to trim these guys so I have like 0.01 weld gap. So let's go ahead and do that. Bam. And then this guy and this guy. Oh, wait. I did the wrong way again, round again. So we got to do our bodies to be trimmed, which is this guy, and then our trimming boundaries. And I did it wrong again. What the heck? This guy. Nope. This guy and this guy are going to be trimming boundaries. And then this guy, and then this guy. So let's take a look here real quick. So this center guy is the one we want to keep. And this like yellow thing up here, not the orange one, but this yellow, we want to get rid of that. So we click on this guy. Bam, he's gone. All right, now let's look down here. Let's get rid of this guy. Wow. And let's look over here. So this top guy is the one we want to get rid of. Get rid of him. And yeah. And it's a checkbox. Wow. Now we got our trailing arm. But wait a second. That's not how it's going to mount. I want some sort of it's going to be cut at an angle, right? So let's open up our trim tool again. And let's click on this guy and this guy. And we basically want it, flush with this plane here. So we're going to click on the plane and look at that. And sometimes it automatically hits discard. Now, I don't know what use cases, maybe you want a weld gap. I don't think you would in this case necessarily need that. Weld gaps mostly used for notching and whatnot. So let's check and let's go. And wow, look at that flush. And that's how you make a trailing arm. Now, what's really nice about weldments, and this is the feature that I like about weldments, is you go to make drawing from part, and you go hit save and insert. Just call it I don't know, tutorial. I can spell. All right, now we're in our little drawing, and I hate this drawing template, but we're going to use it. Let's just do a, I don't know, isometric. Let's change our drawing scale. Let's make it 1 to 2. It's a bit too big, but no, let's make it 1 to 3, 1 to 4. That's fine. I don't want to see these sketches, so I'm gonna hide the sketches. All right. So let's say I was actually looking to actually make something for once, and not just in the virtual world, but in real life, and I wanted to cut some tubes out. So I would go to my tables, and then I go to my Weldment cut list, and I click on this guy, and then I hit the check button over here, and wow, it gives me the length of each member. Look at that. But wait a second, which one's which? So let's go to Auto Balloon, and look at that. Wow. But wait a second, there's more members here than I need. What the heck? Where did all these members come from? Well, I'll tell you, it's because SolidWorks is stupid and does stuff goofy. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. So this guy, let's look over here. So SolidWorks does not view this as a single member. It views it as, let's see, 1, 2, 3 separate members. So how do you fix that? You just click on these, you right click on these members like I just did. Shift click, shift click, shift click. Then right click, and that's making me look like an idiot. Shift click, right click, and hit the combine button here. Bam! And then hit add. Now SolidWorks says, okay, that's all the same piece. So let's go over to our drawing again. And wow! It's one piece. So we know that we need, this is what it's all going to look like. Now, I'm not exactly sure what it actually measures. I don't know if it's from the end of one notch to the other, or if it's like, if you were to notch it, what that tube would be like. What if you were to notch it? I don't know if SolidWorks takes into account that you actually have to notch it and how much material you'll need to actually notch it. I don't think it does that, but it's generally a good idea to just cut it oversized originally. So say make this like 23 inches, make this one like 2 inches. I don't know, because you can always trim stuff down. You can't make stuff longer, So cut it oversized and then cut it down as needed, you know. So anyway, that concludes this tutorial on how to use the Weldment tool in SolidWorks. Like I said, Weldments are not transferable to Fusion, which is kind of big, stupid. So, and I don't think there is a way to convert entities to a extrusion. So let's just go ahead and suppress these. Bam. All right, and let's say I wanted to convert this. I want to move this to Fusion. How would you do that? Let's just do a swept base. And let's do a circular profile. Let's make this 1 inch. Well, bam. Let's do an options, or I think it's a thin feature. Let's do a 0.095 wall thickness. Beautiful. And make sure that's going in, because a 1 inch tube refers to the outer diameter of the tube, not the inner diameter. And then you get your wall thickness, which is 0.095. That's it, Chuck. All right. So then let's do another one for our other features. And I don't like using the swept tool for this, but it does allow you to, at least I think it does. I don't know. Someone could fact check me on that. I don't know. But this is how you do it if you wanted to convert it to Fusion theoretically. And I think this works just as well as a Weldment feature. It would work for me. This one will work. This one will. Huh. My tools must be closed. I don't know, wants to call me a liar. Circular profile. No. Bam. Okay, now it wants to work. Options, then feature, bam, shabam, 3D sketch. I don't want the whole damn thing. I just want one part, please. What? Just this one. Yes, thank you. No. Just this one. I want a circle profile. Then I want a box selection. I want this guy. Thank you. Okay. I don't know what I did that made that work. Bam. Alright, let's just do the cross member for fun too. So I think what you have to do is you gotta make sure you're in a circular profile. You gotta right click it, hit OK. No? Doesn't want to do that. Let's do box selection. Maybe a lasso section. Ah, okay, so you use selection manager. This guy here. To click the right one. Okay. Learn something new every day, folks. And then go to thin feature, then your wall, whatever. So, how would I go about notching this? Well, I'll tell you how I would do it. And this is by no means the most efficient method of notching a tube. And do your whatever. Bam. Okie doke. Then you just go and go to features, shortcut. You do through all this, and then go to just select the tube you want to notch. This guy and that guy, and it notches it. That's how I would do it. I mean, by no means is it the most efficient way of doing it. This one would be a bit harder to notch because we're gonna cut this face in the model at least. But maybe it won't matter too much. I think it might still work. Let's just do this guy. Okay, now this guy is notched to both sides, and now let's say we wanted to notch this guy to the plane. Yeah, I guess that's how you'd have to do it, huh? You'd have to go up the plane. What? Interesting. I don't know. I hate this tool. I hate, just Weldment makes it so much easier. Let's just extrude the base like, I don't know, half an inch. No. God damn you. Bleh. I don't know. There's definitely a way to do that. I'm too lazy to figure it out right now. But yeah, just use the Weldment tool if you can. Maybe you have to use Fusion. Fusion has its own way of doing this stuff. It's kind of similar to extrude bases. Maybe I'll go through that some other time. But yeah, that's how you make something like this in SolidWorks. And then yeah, the drawing, which is nice. All right, bye.